Episode 26. Good morning, Vietnam!
Wow, it is way too early for you to be yelling at me like that, Ken.
You sounded exactly like Robin Williams.
That's what I might have watched him do it a couple times in preparation for this intro.
I mean, it was pretty much spot on.
Yeah, the reason for that is it's Tuesday. It's 8 a.m. We're at the brewery recording, so none of us are drinking beer. Bill and I have coffee. Kevin and Julian may eventually sneak over to the coffee pot when it
I
beeps.
thought about an evil penguin because it is kind of appropriate, but it's also 8 a.m. and I don't really want a beer right now.
Yeah,
I have way too much work to do today to drink beer right now.
I have to sit through an 8-hour training class after this, which is why we're recording this at 8 a.m. and not Monday night.
You need beer.
I'm not opposed to like a sip of it, but like,
Yeah, no, full pint would be
I think a coffee first is important.
If it was a breakfast stout, I might have been down. But
And Bill got here, but didn't brew coffee because he brought his own coffee.
He's such a jerk.
Selfish.
How dare I do all the weed whacking?
Huh?
It's a coffee stout. No,
I want
it's
to hear about
toasted
your
coconut.
sexual endeavors.
It's
Man,
8 a.m.
You've already forgot about all our beers. It's fantastic.
It's 8:15 in the morning.
It is.
It is.
I don't know
is.
about
Oh
8:15.
man, we're a minute off from me starting to sing that 311 song.
Way to go.
I'll wait.
Nobody wants Pat to sing anyway. It's all right.
Hey,
He sounds exactly like that singer,
I
just like
kn-
he sounds like Robin Williams. Yeah. So what's going on?
I saw Pat was cutting shit into wood yesterday.
I did. I bought a CNC machine in November because I wanted one.
Because why not?
Well,
It's a thing that you do.
Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur, if you didn't know. I always got something going, always working on something. So I bought it with the purpose of tying into the disc golf stuff that I do. Like, I'm going to make trophies and plaques and stuff for tournaments. Well, guess what? We can't run those right now. So I did a bunch of stuff around Christmas time, and then I bought some upgrades for it. And I'm like, yeah, I got to go put those upgrades on the machine. And I finally did that this weekend, like 4 months later. So I decided to have some fun and printed some Star Wars goofy stuff just to mess around with some things. And I'm actually going to, on my lunch break during this class, go outside and spray it with poly so I can then paint like all the grooves and stuff that I cut, make it look
nice.
sweet.
Fancy.
Yeah, looks like it came out good based on the pictures.
Yeah, and it was they were pretty. Each cut, one cut was like 34 minutes, one was like 50. So I got some designs in my head that if I could draw them out the way I want them, they might pop up on the internet for sale.
Nice.
Now, how did you get that nice burnt look?
With a blowtorch. Which, hey, remember when we bought the thing to melt the ice and we said,
yeah.
what else are we going to use this for? I'm going to go buy one this week.
Well, we also
It wasn't
used it as
very
a weed
expensive.
whacker.
No.
Yeah, I think it was like
Harbor
it
Freight.
was like $10
Yeah, it was
or
like
something.
it was 20 or 30 bucks total. I remember I was there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were there.
Oh yeah, maybe it was. I don't know. $30 I might not have thought about
no.
it.
There was two models. I think we bought the cheaper of the two, which
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
surprising with you whatsoever.
Hey, it gets the job done. The fancier one just had like a better trigger or something.
So basically, I took this scrap piece of pine from another project that I did, and I just took my little propane blowtorch and like lightly ran it across the board for a couple minutes and got that slight charred look.
Nice.
So with that massive
But
hookup
it's
to
called
my
patina.
okay, whatever.
No, I don't know.
I don't know what
what
words
it's called. I'm just joking.
So I'm, a quick light char, and I've seen people do a lot of stuff with like American flags, where they'll go and they'll cut strips of wood, lightly char them with the blowtorch, and then stain red and white to make the stripes, and then glue it all back together to get like a opposing grain with the cool color look and everything else.
That sounds neat. You should make one.
There's plans. I can't waste the good surprise on you, Julian. I'm sorry. It's not how this works.
Movie. I saw that one.
I also like how you guys
I'm
basically
impressed.
said, "Hey Pat, we're asleep, so can you talk for the next 5 minutes?"
I'm awake.
I was
I'm
like,
awake.
I
I
know. I'll bring up the wood.
Whoa,
At
whoa.
5:45.
Bill brought up his morning wood.
I did.
Was it
Or was it Pat's morning wood?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It just sounds like I should go on social media because I didn't see any pictures.
I couldn't sleep last night, so I watched the movie What We Do in the Shadows, and it was fucking genius. If you haven't seen that movie, watch that movie.
Netflix, Hulu.
The interwebs.
Are we allowed to say those words?
I interwebbed it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Legal cup.
It's no.
There's a TV show also.
I think it was. I think it was on Amazon Prime at one point.
Yeah,
Cool.
the movie. There is a TV show based on it that I just started watching the first episode.
All right, before we get into everything, I'm gonna check
Anyway.
and see if there's coffee. I'll
Yeah,
give you 2
get some
seconds.
coffee.
You guys talk about your wood. Perfect.
Is that the coffee theme?
It is now.
Oh. Yeah, so what else do we want to talk about while Kevin's grabbing some coffee?
Well, I feel like the big one is obviously that it's, Tuesday the 19th and tomorrow, Wednesday the 20th, restaurants are allowed to open with outdoor seating, which is exciting from the fact that we can eat somewhere that's not our kitchen tables.
Yeah, for me it's extremely exciting, but also super, super stressful. Obviously, we fall under that umbrella of restaurants and outdoor seating, and we're trying to do everything we can to get ready and prepare properly for it. The problem is a lot of things that are being put in place are a little vague, so trying to find out all the specifics of everything, just make sure we're doing things right and safely is really stressful right now. We got a lot of work to do over the next day or so to get all that put together and ready to go and all that kind of stuff. So it's hopefully once we're open for at least a couple of days, that stress level drops down a little bit and things become a little bit more clear and things are running smoothly. But until then, it's a lot of anxiety leading up to it. And
that's kind of where I was going with this. Is there's a lot of anxiety on the businesses that are getting ready to attempt to reopen in some capacity. But at the same time, we don't know how the public's going to perceive it.
That's true too. That's an unknown, yeah.
And the reason I this is fresh in my mind, it was Sunday. I looked it up this morning because I forgot what the exact numbers were. NBC Connecticut put up a poll on Facebook, which I'll take it with a grain of salt because it's only people that are on Facebook, so that's a limited sample size.
Who follow NBC.
I do. I like news.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
He's saying
it's only Facebook and only people who follow
NBC.
NBC.
That's true. Yeah. But they put up a straw, like yes or no poll, like, hey, when restaurants reopen this week with outdoor only seating, are you going to go to a restaurant? And only 27% of the people that responded said yes.
That's perfect, though, in some ways, because you're only allowed to have
50%
of your outdoor occupancy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably a good thing. I mean, if everybody said yes, then you're going to be in a situation where
everyone's going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just picking the conversation up midway. I mean, I think,
we'll talk louder next time so you could hear us while getting coffee.
Yeah, perfect. I definitely think that the concerns are, obviously safety first. We've been socially distant for however many weeks on weeks on weeks, and regardless of where you stand on it, we did the work to hopefully mitigate this disease, and I think that we want to make sure that we are stepping forward smartly and not undoing any of that work. If it was helpful or not, that's not the debate. We did it. Let's not go backwards. Let's keep moving forwards. Let's inch forward, but let's not run a marathon either. There are definitely people on one side that want to stay home, and that's great. I mean, stay home, like your safety and how you perceive it should be the way it is. And there's some people that want to go out. And I mean, our hope, I think, for a lot of businesses that are going to slowly open is that we want to provide a safe environment that we can learn from, because we're also learning, I mean, as a society, we're learning about this disease and how to best approach it for safety. There's a lot of guidelines that the state had put out, that the CDC has put out, and that's what we're all going to follow to the T, if not even more. I know that way we're going to do it is, extra spacing. It's like supposed to be every 6 feet between chairs on outdoor patio. We're going to have more than that just to make sure. We're not going to fill up our patio to the extent that we could. We're going to keep it pretty spacious initially, see how it goes, and if we can add a table safely, we'll add another table. Yeah. But we'd rather keep it minimal, a nice balance of occupancy, while also making sure that the service is good and that the safety is paramount, obviously.
I look at it as, at this point, since it's not a full everyone back to normal reopen, if you're a restaurant or a brewery where you're already there from noon to 6 selling things to go, to have a couple tables set up operating with the same number of staff you would have normally had, it's just another stream of revenue. There's the words.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of extra work to get it where you need it to be at first. But once it's established, I think hopefully most places will run pretty smoothly without really altering how they're operating right now.
Yeah, I mean, we had our guild meeting last night virtually, and for the Brewers Guild anyway, and it seems like the concern from the businesses obviously are that we want people to feel comfortable and we don't want to move too fast. At the same point in time, there's a lot of uncertainty on how everything's going to roll out. I mean, you guys sort of all pointed it out, is we're not sure how many people want to come out. We're not sure how those people are going to react when they are out. Are people going to follow the signage that we have? Are they going to follow the rules? Hey, we have no tables available. Please don't come in, come into the patio area, quote unquote. Are people going to follow those things? And we're hopeful that they will, but those are legitimate concerns, as well as, all these new rules have been put in place by our government temporarily, and they're all new. They're all sort of gray. So we're working hard to make sure we follow the right rules, and a lot of it's town by town, so that becomes even more, like, a little bit more stressful. So depending on the town you're in, we've been lucky. Hamden was very perceptive to this, as I knock on wood on that, but they've been great to work with. So everything we've been working with them in tandem, and it's been pretty good. But others I've heard, the town doesn't really know what's going on or are unsure, so they've been very slow to respond. I'm sure everybody will figure it out, and everybody wants to be that safe, right? But I think that's where a lot of us are lying right now. And then you have a lot of people that are very adamant we shouldn't go out. And you have a lot of people adamant that really should. And I think those two extremes are what people are really fearful of. It's like, let's be smart. Right. Let's be intelligent about what we're doing in general. There's no need to lose our cool over this on either end. Let's just dip our toes in the water. I mean, that's, I think, our hope.
Right. Yeah. No one should be yelling at people who do want to go out, as long as they're doing it safely and within the guidelines that the government is saying it's okay to do this.
And
now.
vice versa.
And vice versa. Exactly. Yeah. You shouldn't be shaming anyone. But yeah.
I think I think you stated it really well on that post that you shared last night, Bill. If people want to go out and follow the rules.
That was Ken's wording.
Ah, well, good old Ken Tuccio.
Give credit to Tuccio for once.
Shout out to Mr. Ken Tuccio. Good words, Ken. I like the sentiments. I mean, basically, if you're going to go out, have a good time, follow the rules, respect the employees, respect the establishment, do it safely. And if you're going to stay in and have a great time, and come on by and pick up some beer to enjoy on your couch.
I got the right button that time.
And I think the nice thing, too, is that we're trying to find that balance.
I saw you going for it. I was ready.
The call, the curbside pickup, I don't think is, it's not going to be going anywhere soon. I mean, online ordering has been fantastic. Awesome. Not for, for everybody, seemingly, and I don't think that's going to really go away at all, just because of the ease of it. You have so many people that, like, come in, and maybe, like, down the road when we're back to the normal world, like, years, it's probably going to feel like decades from now, but
2029.
Maybe limited releases aren't online, but your normal stuff that's readily available probably is going to be online. I mean, it's stupid simple. I'm sure that the ordering systems on the operational side will get even better. They already had gotten better from the beginning of this.
Well,
so.
you think about it, even from like a busy tap room perspective, like, oh hey, I don't have a tab open, but I want to get some beer to go, and it's kind of jammed. You could sit at your table and place an online order, and just walk over to the bartender and be like, "Yo, I just paid for this." And
it says it'll be ready in 15 minutes. Go walk over in 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
It's another way of facilitating just general day-to-day operations.
Yeah, I mean, I remember early. I mean, this is when craft beer first existed in Connecticut, probably. But I remember early on, like Beard, when they first opened, they used to do like a ticket system where you'd grab your growler, you'd get a ticket, and then they'd call your number like a deli.
Yep.
It's the old Nebco procedure.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Treehouse
So now, like,
lived and died by that for a long
now,
time.
I mean, realistically, if you order it online, it'll say like, even if it had a time, like at least the way our system is, you click on it and you're gonna go fill the growler. Hey, we're processing your order, which means I'm filling your growler. Get ready, it'll be ready soon. And then once they say completed, it's like, oh, it's ready. Come on up and get it, kind of thing. Which is pretty neat, kind of thing. So it's almost like it's fulfilling that, but digitally now.
In my head, I want to put a illuminated now serving number sign, but I know Kevin will never allow it, so I'm not going to bring it up.
When you started laughing, I already knew you were going to say this. I'm not going to lie. Like, I just knew it.
You could integrate it into the cooler with the sign you're going to make.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make that sign, Pat.
Well, we haven't had people. One, Kevin hasn't given me the graphic.
I told you what it was. But you're right. I'm a font whore.
And two, yeah, he is a font whore. I don't do anything. I will offer the moon to Kevin in terms of creative outlet stuff that I can do. However, until he approves the font, I'm dead in the water. It doesn't matter. Because otherwise I'm going to make it 6 times.
Remember when you made that website, I'm like, what is this terrible font? You're like, oh, it's this. I'm like, here's a better one.
Also, on a tangential note, but the online ordering system and everything that we got up, I think, is one of the benefits of the downtime to this has been all the cool stuff we've been able to implement that's going to stick around and just going to make things better, easier, and just a better overall experience in general for people who come to our tap.
Yeah, well, and especially right now, too, at least in the short term, the online ordering is going to be great to help promote the contactless payment and stuff like that. People can order what they want directly from their tables probably. We're working on some of the final details of that today, how it's going to work for us at least. But, the ability to just do that from their table without us having to interact, just interact on as minimal of a basis as possible for, obvious reasons.
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, to your point, we haven't, it hasn't officially happened yet, technology wise. But yeah, I mean, our goal is for you to be able to order from your phone at your table through our website, and you can just basically put your table number, and then we'll get you your brewskis that way without having to necessarily use the register specifically, stuff like that. And so yeah, I think other people seemingly are going to be utilizing that as well.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like from people I've heard.
Right, especially now. I mean, that's definitely a big focal point is the contactless when possible. So I think that's definitely a huge. You get to use your device, and that's it. You know.
Well, while we're on this, how we're going to operate kind of structure, let's real quick walk through the basic, like, hey, this is what we're going to be. So people that are out there trying to decide if they want to come down, they know.
Yeah,
so,
I mean.
So obviously we're setting up a patio out front.
Yeah, for those who have been here before, it's probably going to be easy to picture. For those who have not been here before, come on down, I guess, when you feel comfortable. And hopefully in a few months we'll all feel comfortable. But yeah, we got approval from town to get a permanent patio out front. So it's going to be, if you come into the front door, sometimes we have the bay door open. Realistically, the patio is going to extend from the bay door, just shallow from there, creating like an entry gate into our front door. So when you pass through the patio, you're going to the front door type of thing. And so if you take a left to wrap around the building instead of going inside, that's going to be where the primary patio space is going to be. We have a pretty large area, paved-in area over there that has been gone unused. And we always planned on trying to put a patio. It's just been like, we're going to get there. And apparently, to Julian's point, the silver lining of the pandemic is this forced us to get there.
Yeah, forced our hand to do what we wanted to do anyway.
Yeah, so we got there.
Got the rooftop going.
Yay. Yeah, rooftop bar next, guys.
Only if there's a pool.
So ideally, that's our sort of initial bay. If it's nice out, we'll still keep the bay door open, especially that way it provides easy access to the bathrooms. It also promotes people to stay socially distant, and you can also see if someone's using the bathroom rather than coming inside and waiting kind of thing. And within that, initially, we're going to use like the spool tables that we had inside, just 4 or 5 seats max, depending on the size of the table. Some are smaller ones. We're going to be safe. We think 5 could fit, but we're going to take one out anyway just to make sure. And the way that if people have been paying attention, I don't know. If you come with a group, you can sit at a table, but you can't share any tables, stuff like that. And the groups are max of 5, but if we only have 4 seats, then the max is only going to be 4 at that table. Yeah. So people have to be prepared. We're also going to have a couple, like two tables as well. That way we can promote smaller groups, because most people that come to a brewery, especially now, I'm going to assume, aren't going to be huge groups, and hopefully not. And realistically, you can only bring 4 people now anyway, or 5 for one table. We have one table of 5, but that's because it's massive. But besides that, so realistically, I think we're going to have seating for about 35-ish people initially, which is going to really space out that area because it's a big space. So it's going to be pretty open for everybody, and we're just trying to make sure that there's a little bit modular seating, and it's sort of a win-win. I think, and everything's gonna be outside, like I said, so it's gonna be sort of rain or shine, rain delay. We might have a couple easy ups or something, but I don't know if anybody's going to really want to drinking outside when it's raining out. So I think we're all going to be rain dependent.
I mean, there was that festival where I was out there for like 8 hours drinking in the rain.
Yeah, but there was also like there was also like 200 people inside.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Every
can't
year
do that
Smoke in the
anymore.
Valley, the one time they did pour at the shore in Stratford, it was like monsoons on the beach. It was
Yeah, so
miserable.
weather was going to be something that we're going to work on, but like we don't really have the ability to build something right now since the building department's closed and stuff like that. So we something temporary we have approval of, I think, but that's about it.
And it's going to be all table service as well. People can't get up and walk up to a bar and order, which is a change for both customers and us. Learning curve there. The only indoor thing that's allowed is people walking in to go to the bathroom. Everything else is outdoors.
Or if you're picking up, you can still come in to pick up.
Right,
But
yeah,
we're going to
you could
promote we're still going to promote. Hey,
Call us.
call us. We'll just bring it to your car. I mean, why spend the extra calories?
Right.
You can spend your calories somewhere else.
So two questions. Two questions about the tables. Just because I've seen what other places are advertising
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
Are we taking reservations?
So good idea. Good call. Good question, I should say. We've debated this. The challenge is I would love to take reservations specifically, but the challenge is we don't know seating times. It's not like,
Well, this is gonna lead to my second question of: is there a time limit that you could stay at your table?
Yeah, so right now we don't know. So we're promoting, and we're going to promote calling ahead. And we're also going to have a sign out front, so when you drive in, if we are full, i.e. all the tables are filled, then you're not coming in. That way you don't have to waste your time, and you also are maintaining social distance protocols. But we're promoting that people call ahead so they can see the situation on the patio, and we'll determine it sort of case-by-case basis at that point. I don't really want to say we're reserving a table if you call, but we'll do our best to make accommodations, because if you're driving down here, we don't want to wait, we don't want to waste anybody's time, and also we want to make sure everybody's staying safe. So the primary thing is obviously safety, and then how do we make that happen? So I think calling ahead initially, if we can, if an idea pops in and make a reservation, I would rather do that, but I just don't know how we can function that way without.
It's gonna be a play it by ear situation, I
right?
think.
Or
Yeah,
you
that's
said,
exactly what I
hey,
was gonna
30
say.
minutes and you got to get out of here, but at the same point in time, I don't want to rush somebody through a beer.
Yeah.
You want
Right,
people to take their
exactly, yeah,
time.
yeah.
And we're gonna have the food trucks here and offer food for them and all that kind of stuff. So it's just making sure that people are being safe. So I don't want to rush through anything. And ideally, our hope is that people come out for a beer just to get out. And it's not like we're not promoting like a frat party or anything like that.
Well, and I think the brewery scene is already kind of trending that way, especially with the beer passport of you pop in multiple places for a beer versus sitting at the same place for 6 hours.
Right, and so this
So
hopefully
I
is
think
like
this is
you're
gonna-
going out for one place, and then tomorrow you go out, or the next day you'll go out to another place. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's the trend,
anyone that's out there and is gonna go out and visit a brewery or restaurant this weekend, just keep in mind that there may be other people waiting for your seats. So
Good point, yeah.
if you're on that last sip of beer and you see people waiting, be considerate. But that's just
Right.
it's
Or
a
ask
rule
the
of life.
server, hey, have you guys had an influx of people calling to see if there's
Yeah.
spots available? I mean,
Yeah.
because we're not gonna. If someone comes in and they want to wait, we're gonna. I mean, the thing about this now, we're gonna ask them to wait in their cars, and maybe have them give us their number and let them know that someone's leaving. I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably what
That's probably
I
the
just made that
best.
policy up, but I like it.
I
like
thought,
it.
I,
I
I
like
thought
it
of that.
too.
I thought of that yesterday when we were talking about this kind of stuff, and it never came
I'm
out.
forcing you to make decisions.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, I mean, but that makes sense. So, I mean, 'cause I've seen that other places too. Like if table's not ready, call in to make sure that it's ready. Lane's saying hi to John. So I think that's a good approach. But the big thing, our biggest weapon here is information. That is given to us as well as what we can give the customers. So we're doing our best to plaster this place with signage. As well as as we get more and more sanitary stations, we're gonna have more and more of those. Initially there's gonna be a bunch everywhere, and we're getting contactless eventually too. So it's gonna be like sanitary up the wazoo, as well as information up the. I think those are the two things you're gonna be getting from us, and probably everywhere is as much information. It's new. We're all learning together, and as a customer too, if you have an idea, please give us a shout and say, hey, have you thought about implementing this process? And if we can do it, and it's a good idea, obviously, if it's not a terrible idea and we can do it, let's do it. So I think it definitely is a learning curve for everybody. And the thing is that the nice thing about the guild, anyways, we're all sort of, some people are going to trickle in opening. I think we last night, like a half a dozen or so, at least that were on the call are opening this weekend. And I think a lot of it's due to town restrictions, I'm guessing, as well as just figuring this out. Like, we're like, all right, I'm definitely a little frazzled, but because I want to make sure it's done right.
Yeah.
So like tomorrow we are going to open, but it's going to be like a very minimal soft opening, and we may be only invite only to like Mug Club members that live in the neighborhood and just say, hey, if you want to come down, we're going to be open for a couple hours just to try some things out. Let us know how you think this is going, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so we're not going to be blasting our social medias. Hey, come down, we're open.
Yeah, I mean the blast. Hopefully the blast like tonight will be. This is our protocol, and look for us to be open in the next couple of days, and just giving that information as best as possible. It's definitely an exciting time to be opening. I think the people that like if no one's living this day to day, you got to remember that we're not trying to get back to where it was before this, because we're realistic. We're just trying to inch forward, take a step in the right direction on both sides, not just opening, but also keeping this thing down, keeping it quelled. And we can hopefully look back at this and be like, yep, we all made it there. It's a bumpy road, but we made it there kind of thing. So that's really our goal as a business, as an entity, as people. I mean, we always want safety for everybody. We all work in close proximity to each other, but at the same point in time, we want to make sure that we are mindful of the people that we, as we get new customers in, wearing the masks, gloves, all that jazz, as outlined. We're going to be doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Got very somber. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. You went on this little monologue thing. If I could have figured out how to make the camera focus on just your head for that period,
We're here for you and your safety and beer needs.
So I've got a question, not necessarily a hot take, but I want to know that, whenever each of us do decide that we're going to venture out, what are you most excited for when you first sit down at your favorite spots outdoor patio?
I already know where I'm going, but they haven't announced their opening yet.
Well, I know what I'm going, and it doesn't matter where. It's the post-disc golf round beer. That is what I want. Because, one, that means I played disc golf, and two, that means I drank beer in public. It's just so exciting.
I'm excited for all the food. I'm sure Bill is, too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of cooking food. I don't care how good it is. I'm just tired of cooking it.
I have not eaten fast food in 9 days.
Wow. I haven't done it since the pandemic.
Well, yeah.
Since we went disc golfing that day, right at the beginning of the pandemic.
I'm proud of me.
And that was just like breakfast sandwich.
Actually, I haven't even eaten out.
Wow.
Other than that coffee I got at the McDonald's drive-thru on the way here last week, I have not eaten out in 9 days.
That's
like a record.
So to answer your question, my spot, they haven't announced officially, but they are getting a patio, is Texaco. I got a mug there. I'm excited. I know they take reservations, so I'll probably force somebody to come with me so that
you're not the dude sitting at the bar alone.
Yeah, I'll be one of like somebody that I socially or I specifically.
You could
have
just say
with.
Bill.
All right, Bill's coming with me. Julie, you can probably come. Patty, you can come.
So the four of us are going to Texas.
Laney's gonna come because it's patio. It'll be fine. I want some guac and chips and a freaking mug of beer. Nice. Well, they might do plastic, so I'll accept no mug because they might do plastic. I don't know, but I definitely want a beer and some guac and chips.
That's a good question. Obviously, dogs are allowed on our outdoor patio.
Yeah.
Since they're allowed on our indoor patio.
And I mean, I know this was a specific question someone did ask too, and I think that based on how spacious we're going to make it, and we're mocking the finalized thing up today. It's going to be plenty of room. So even if you, like, realistically, same rules apply. We can't post this on CD Beer Drinkers now. We're talking about dogs.
Are they allowed to bring their kids, though?
I just had a...
Only on leashes.
I just had a picture in my head of the next Bill Meta dog picture, but there's a thing of plexiglass between Bill and the dog.
So
just covered in kisses.
So all I would say is even if your dog's rambunctious, like, obviously, same rules apply as normal. Like, bring your calm dog. But even if they're a little bit more excited, we're going to have space. Nobody wants their dog running around. They're still on leashes, but it's not like we're having tables on top of each other. So it's going to be room for your dog and all that kind of stuff.
On the leash note, make sure you hold on to the leash. Please don't attach it to any of the posts or things that are be holding up the boundaries.
Like that one time the person did it to our bar and then they pulled off half the bar.
Oh,
Well,
God,
no,
yeah.
I'm just envisioning what you were talking about for using as a boundary with the rope and everything else. And if someone attaches a dog to that, our entire boundary is going to come down potentially.
Yeah, I got the stakes in the car. You
Yeah.
know, we're going to do a temporary boundary for people who wanted to hear that. They don't care. But we're going to eventually get official like poles. But the idea is they make it almost like a boat. I don't know if this is the right description, but like, you know, we're using a 3/4 inch rope and it's going to have like a sort of a boathouse outdoor vibe, rustic vibe, sort of matching the inside, but with the outside. And, you know, if anybody's a graffiti artist out there that wants to maybe paint something on the mural outside wall, give us a shout.
I'll draw a bunch of wangs.
All right. I've seen your art.
I don't think the town of Hamden would appreciate that.
What is this, sir? Art.
You just don't get it.
Pickles with legs,
Are
dog.
those
Oh.
penises? No, they're bananas.
Yeah, we're going off the rails here. Any
new?
other patio related type stuff?
Only other thing I could think of off the top of my head that we didn't touch on is things like most breweries, including ourselves, have like cornhole and stuff a lot. We're not going to be able to or wanting to have that type of stuff set up even on the patio, so don't expect that at all. It's going to be strictly just table service, very, very minimal. Enjoy some beers, enjoy some company, and
Yeah, and I mean, right now everybody's so focused on the contact portion of things until we figure that out. Like, you know, if we get the clear from CDC in a month or two, and everyone's like, "Yep, we sort of still be careful, don't breathe on people, but you can start touching things." I mean, the cornhole bags, they're bags, so I mean, we don't. That's really realistically, even darts, I wouldn't be comfortable, even if we could have them. Even if you could wipe them down, I just feel like it's something that's communal.
Yeah.
I guess if
game shelf is out of commission, obviously.
Yeah, Julie and I were just joking about that the other day. It's like the game shelf is going to probably out of commission until September. I mean, right now the plan, if it stays and it keeps on changing constantly, is the fourth and final phase of opening is September right now. If everything stays the same as it was 15 days, now it's 30 days. So as long as it stays 30 days, it's September, which maybe that was just strategic so that everything opens back up when school starts again. I don't know. I'm not a planner, nor am I smart enough to be a planner.
Yeah,
but
or they're giving you a longer timeline with the hope that we can shorten it rather than the other way around.
I mean, like I said, if
look at how
September we're 100%, I'm okay with that, and we feel confident about that.
And just look
whatever.
at how like the barbershop and salon people are freaking out after them pushing that back 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean,
like,
the one thing that
you don't want to set a short timeline then have to elongate.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think safety is paramount, obviously, but I think the one thing people forget when they don't live or don't own their own businesses or aren't really being affected by this is that is part of it. Like, we want safety, but we also have worked hard to build these businesses. So, I mean, it's hard to, and it's going to be a challenge for some people to come back too, you know. So our hope is that we're hearing, you know, there are a bunch of people that are opening. On the restaurant side anyway, but some people aren't because their patios are too small and it may cost too much money for them to open. You know,
from what
like,
I've seen, it's a combination of people either having a little bit of struggle with their town, so they're taking their time about it and making sure they're doing things right, so it's taking them extra time, or they just feel in general, based on what their space is, they're not ready, they don't think they can provide the type of environment needed for right now, so they're taking extra time.
Right, and I think the restaurants and specifically that have been doing well or above the curve, I'll say. I don't know if well is the right word, but above the curve as far as pickup, takeout. I think those are the ones that are looking to open.
Yeah.
Or the ones that have literally not been able to at all, but have a solid patio. Like Westbrook Lobster is one in my head.
Yep.
Like they have a really awesome patio.
And
pretty spacious, so they can
they're
they can
actually
do
a
a
good
job.
example because along with the patio being open, because they're going to be there, they've also added some takeout stuff to it as well.
Oh right, yeah.
So,
the reason
like-
that they didn't open was because they do seafood.
Yeah.
And they don't want to like have all this fresh seafood that doesn't go.
Yeah, but now that they have a patio where people can eat it,
Yeah.
you know, they can start doing stuff.
Right, and
again.
now the Wallingford one is going to be open, I think, starting Wednesday. So maybe
I
that's
think I saw the announcement yesterday. They're doing like reservations only, limited seating, obviously,
Yeah.
and
then like Clinton location, I think they said down the road they don't have the patio set because that one doesn't have a patio officially, so they're building one out. I'm assuming.
I will say big props to the towns that are getting behind the restaurants. The example that comes to my mind is
And breweries.
Ansonia announced that from Saturdays from 5 to 9, they're actually shutting down the big chunk of Main Street that most of the restaurants in downtown are on.
Okay,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
something
yeah.
So that
about
they can
that, yeah.
expand onto the road and
That's pretty
do,
sweet. That's
and
pretty
do
sweet.
outdoor dining for at least that one
Yeah,
night.
Yeah, I think a lot of the towns, like, I mean, I'm sure the bad town, it's sort of like anything, right? I think the
Yeah.
bad towns, and I don't really know what quote unquote the bad towns are, but I think those maybe stick out to some of the people that are involved in this. But a lot of the towns have been fantastic because they understand that this is not ideal for anybody.
Yeah.
And we all want to do the right thing, and we also want educated space. So that's really cool that they're like, hey, we're going to open this area up. We want to have everything spacious. We want to have a lot of air. You know, you're going to have more room at restaurants than at a grocery store. You know, I was at a store yesterday, and I was like, oh, my God, how many people are here? You know, I was so impressed by how many people were out. And not necessarily a good impression by any means.
Yeah.
But I think restaurants you're going to go there for peace of mind, to be honest. Like you're going to have less people than at a restaurant than at Stop and Shop.
People are definitely starting to loosen their personal restrictions. I had to run down to Target last night to get a couple things and do some minor grocery shopping at the same time. And it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, which I went like a month ago around the same time during the week, and there was like 6 cars in the parking lot. And I went last night, and the parking lot was like a third full.
Jeez.
So like people are definitely like loosening up and getting tired of staying home.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and to your point for the town stuff too, we heard last night. I don't know if you remember on the Guild guys in Black Ponds, very small brewery up in Danielson. That's in Connecticut for people who don't know. But they have a small patio out back, and it's a cool little spot. But the town actually offered them across the street is like a public parking lot, like a riding park kind of thing for a tiny town. But they were like, hey, if you want, they offered, I don't know the logistics, obviously, of it all, but they more or less offered like a portion of the parking lot to extend their patio.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, yeah. Like, it's pretty sweet that towns are doing that kind of stuff. And, you know, I think everybody's appreciative of, hey, we're all doing pretty well with the to-go thing. You know, part of the model, obviously, is the tap room, and we want to get back there just to feel normal, get customers back. And I think the other big portion for us, as no worries anyway, we're excited for the restaurants to get back.
Very
you know,
excited for restaurants to
the
get back.
cans have been doing great, but get some draft out there. But obviously, I mean, hopefully they have a bunch of beer that aged well. You know, hopefully there's some lagers and brown ales and stuff like that still on tap over there. And then as they chip away, we'll either way, I'm also just excited to support them. And they have probably been hit harder than us as far as we can still sell to package stores. You know.
Yeah.
I can't wait for my first brunch.
Me too. So
Is that so you go to Micro? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to Texaco, you're to Micro?
Yeah.
Well, and then I'll meet you at Texaco.
All right. So you
So-
have brunch, I'll have lunch.
So one
Yes.
one
All
last thing I wanted to cover as we wrap up, because this has been a long one for us.
That's what she said.
Assuming the tap room is open this weekend for outdoor seating,
Yes, sir.
what is on draft that people want to come down and
All the beers. I got to look at the draft board.
I'm looking up there too. I'm
I
like,
know my personal choice, if it's going to be as beautiful as it is today, this weekend, if I was coming down to drink a pint here, it would be that Baby Come Back with the mango
Baby
and
Come
red
Back.
currant. I love that beer.
So let's see. So we have the Hakuna Matata, brown ale, Do-si-do.
Oh.
Brown ale is Say It Loud. The Baby Come Back that Julia mentioned.
Baby Come Back.
We still got a little bit of bone left, right?
Yeah, we got a few lots.
Yeah.
A little
a
bit
touch,
of bone
a
left.
toucher.
A very, very little bit of even flow, but that's gonna die.
It's
very,
even
very,
no.
very soon.
We might drink it all.
We have Lottie Da,
Lyra.
Cannonball,
Cannonball Pilsner,
Evil Penguin?
Evil
Still got some
Penguin.
Evil Penguin. Yep.
Still got Penguin.
We've got
The
the
English Mild?
We've got the Lyra English Mild.
Do-si-do.
We already said
said
I
that.
said Do-si-do.
Oh,
Got the
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
So
All our
so-
tap lines are full right there.
Yeah,
I
so
think
that-
we covered it
that-
all.
that
We got
was-
a lot of beer, guys.
That was where I was going with this. Is if you come down to No Worries Brewing this weekend, assuming we are open and the weather is nice, we have lots of variety for you to try out.
And then
Oh, we
I would say
may
that the
have-
nice thing is we were smart. So we canned a crap ton of beer, people who were following, and that's going great. But we were smart and actually kegged a couple of halves here and there as much as we could
Yeah, we saved stuff.
for the tap room as
Yeah.
well. So the Cannonball, while we canned a lot of it, we also got a few barrels out of that, and same with everything else. So we will.
We may also have blood sugar sex magic if we have a line to put it on. If they're not all full.
We
If
can't,
not-
we're
if not,
not
that one
capable
will
of
wait.
counting that high.
If not,
we still have some kilted, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Jesus. Formerly known.
FKA bitches. That which is man, that beer is so good.
It is.
Really,
We're down to like our last like 4 cases,
I
by the
love the way
way.
that beer
It's
came
something like
out.
that. It's ridiculous. For that, I don't know. I'm pretty proud of that beer. It was nice.
Yeah, I'm
this
a
part
little.
of the conversation got me really excited.
That was.
You got a lager boner?
Yeah,
my stress kind of disappeared for a minute.
that was my goal, Bill. I came in with curated questions in my head to make you smile.
Perfect.
Good job, Pat.
Yeah.
Well, so if people are still listening, I mean, it's hilarious. By the way, thank you.
Also, we haven't mentioned Mike yet today, so I'm just gonna say hi, Mike.
Hey, bud.
Mike, when you're feeling comfortable, social distance your ass over here, and we'll keep a table.
I would
table
not
2
be
open for you.
surprised if he makes his way down here this weekend.
All right. But yeah, so I mean, for those people out there, don't rush out of your houses. Tiptoe out, just like we're all doing. We're gonna learn as we go. Feedback is completely open. We want to make sure you're feeling safe as well as doing the right thing in general, regardless. So let us know how we can make it better. Taking all the feedback from the towns and the state and the federal government too, all the hierarchy, and just making sure we're doing the right thing. So we're just excited, but we're not overexcited. Don't worry, we're not.
We're not Laney excited.
We're not like, all right, we're gonna go do a beer festival now. Like that's
Bill
not what we're
looks
looking
a
for.
little overexcited over there right now.
No,
That's
he was
because
just weed whacking.
We were talking about lagers.
The coffee's kicking in. Yeah, we're talking about lagers.
Lagers. Cool.
Like
Anyway, that's all I got.
That's all I got. Anyone else?
I gotta go do yard work.
All right. Well, on that note,
Cheers.
cheers, everyone.
The first coffee. Cheers.